I'm always asked about how to get started in oil paints. So I finally put together this video to share all my top tips. Firstly, make sure you're patient with yourself. Give yourself the time to get used to oils. Next, value quality over quantity of your materials. Oils are pricey, but you can do a ton with just a few artist quality paint colors and a range of hog hair brushes. And start by painting in monochrome. That way you can focus on paint handling rather than worry about muddy colors. And if you don't want to start a painting from scratch, you can try painting oils over your acrylic paintings to ease into it. Just never paint acrylic over oil. Try and get used to using the paint at the consistency it comes from out of the tube. If you find it too stiff, you can add oil medium. And it's best to start by painting wet on wet in one layer. Once you start adding layers over dry paint, oils become a lot more complex because you have to follow the 3 rules to prevent cracking. Fat over lean, thick over thin, slow drying over fast drying. Next, it's important to know how to paint safely. Oil paint itself is just oil and pigment. It's really the additives, the oil medium and solvent, that make a difference. Although you should always check your paint tubes for warning labels. So if you use solvent, make sure you're in a well-ventilated space and pick a slower evaporating mineral spirit like Gamsol rather than turpentine. And many people don't realize you can actually go solvent-free by washing your brushes in oil medium instead of solvent before soap and water. This brings us to the safety of oil medium. Oily rags are a fire hazard. Always dry your rags flat as heat builds in the folds. And finally, there's no way around it. Oil paints take a lot longer to dry. About a week to be touch dry and then a further 6 months to be fully cured. Don't worry if oils end up not being right for you. We have a ton more materials to explore and experiment with than the old masters ever did.